Let me see right now.
See.
We go from that to that. Let us see over here.
Where's my phone at? Oh, shit. Oh, my freaking girlfriend called me, damn it.
Alright. I'll have to switch it manually.
Make me great again. No, she thinks Grell is boring.
Alright. I'll have to there you go.
What's up?
There you go. We're in live stream, guys. We live. So
It's working now.
last time we ended up with 86,000. Now we have 89,000.
Hello?
You said what?
Sorry, I'll be right back.
So we have as a special guest over here, Eyesight, and he's gonna be right back. So yeah, gonna be 90,000. Hopefully I reach out in 1 hour if everything's fine and if my internet is fine. This is kind of laggy right now. It's very laggy. It is very laggy right now. How is the stream for y'all guys? If you can leave a... It is so laggy I can't see it. You can leave a comment saying how the live looks. Because it's very laggy, I know it. But I want to know if it's alright. Yo, Meph, do you have a channel? You actually have a channel?
I don't really use it. I have one of the one that I use to host the GST on.
Okay.
Cheapers, I hosted it. I haven't done anything on it though.
Let's see. I went today on Corleone to see how were the things over there. And it seems like they did a room, like a show off room, like a Hall of Fame for people from the Spar, King of Spar. Something like that, right? Do you call it like that?
I guess I haven't been on there.
You haven't been on it?
The project and there wasn't any changes. They don't have the right people there. I mean, I think eventually they could get there, but I don't think they're there right now. And if I don't know how to code, I've been learning coding on my own. Like I've got I paid for a course on Coursera that I've been doing on JavaScript.
Oh, okay.
So that I can, if I can eventually start pushing my own projects. But
yeah.
Right now it's just like we give ideas and then they just kind of sit because they don't have coders that can put the ideas into action. So it's a little frustrating.
So you're actually looking for someone who can introduce your ideas into what you want. Yeah, I've heard of that. It's like in terms of business, it's like selling your own. It's not selling, but like having someone who teach you or guide you how to take your business to another level. And you like hire these people, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of in the role of advisors.
Yeah, exactly.
Where we're saying, hey, we've been playing this type of game since 2002. We know more about this type of game than literally anybody on the planet. You guys obviously need help.
Okay.
Well,
Can you
take our advice.
Can you give me a second? Can you give me a second? My mom is actually calling me, so I'll be back, bro. Alright. Alright, I'm back. Alright, I'm back. My bad. Alright, so you were saying?
Well, I was just saying, like pretty much where we're sitting in the position of advisors. At this point, we don't really, I don't know how to code. So, because if I could code, I wouldn't need to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Have the idea and then put it into action, but I can't do that without coding, either coding ability of my own or coding ability of somebody else's. And we can't find somebody else that is willing to put the time and energy into coding. So I took a step back and I'm just learning myself.
Actually, it's kind of weird. Like, y'all have literally no one, that is actually willing to put those codes in.
All these games, they always run into the same issues. That's the reason, Multiplex was supposed to have a lot more to it. We didn't have coders. We didn't have coders that were on hand, that were willing and able to do it. And you can't blame them, really, because both of these games, Corleone and Era, the help is free. People are not getting paid.
No, they're not getting paid.
To do this. So you can't really blame them for prioritizing
yeah.
real life obligations ahead of it. So
actually, it's kind of weird because like you study these things to actually go out there with the mindset that you're gonna charge for the work you do, right? And I mean that's from a perspective from someone who actually study coding and all that shit. But if you are a student, you don't really have the experience that others have. So it's like kind of sitting over there with people that.
I'm not entirely foreign to code. In my real life job as a financial analyst at a big company, I'm pretty fluent in VBA programming. So I understand code structure, but JavaScript is it's kind of like the difference between Spanish and English. I understand the structure of language, but I don't understand the language yet. But that's why I'm taking a course to learn it.
Yeah.
I think the big thing is the monetization side of it, where nobody's gonna pick this over their real life job if you're not gonna get paid for it.
Honestly, it's kind of been like that since the very beginning. I mean, at the beginning, people were like all excited because this game was gonna reach something, and they started to um put their own time on it. But then after kind of years, they've seen that nothing has gone.
People get discouraged.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, you haven't gotten paid.
Well, they don't I could say on Corleone, for example, the game's been out for 4 years, and I imagine that the people that have been there since from the beginning, because I've left twice. I guess I've not left at this point. I'm kind of just hanging out I'm working on myself. But for people that have been there a long time, they've got to be asking, what do we need to do to get this thing to succeed? But they're not willing to do what needs to be done, and because a lot of Aaron did the same thing. We laid them out very, very clearly. I've said many times, if you focus on competitive, I can almost guarantee you, because if you look at any other game, Fortnite, Call of Duty, you name it, it's always the competitive scene that attracts players.
Yeah.
People just they like to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. They get better and better and better at the game. If you give somebody a game I mean, look at Fortnite. Fortnite's a great example. That's a free to play game. You don't have to pay a dime to play that game. But that game still, it brought enough players to its door that they made $5.8 billion in 2021 on cosmetics. And it's a free-to-play game. That tells you that people will just, if you get enough people, you will make money. So the problem that both of these games, whether it be Corleone or Era, need to ask themselves is how do I bring more players? Instead, what they're doing is they're saying, how can we make money? That's the wrong question to ask, because you're asking somebody to come here. If a new player comes today, they either have to commit 16 plus hours of their time towards a job that's purposely boring, or they need to pull their wallet out and use a credit card. And at this point, that player doesn't even know that they want to play this game.
Yeah, exactly.
So to expect the player to invest first before you've invested in the player and given them the game that they're interested in playing.
Exactly.
It's no surprise that these games aren't succeeding. So the answer to that question, why aren't we succeeding? That's one element of it, is they're putting the cart before their horse. They're asking the player to invest in them before they invest in the player and give them a game. Another part to it is the players that do come here, because people, you, me, everybody on this channel right now, we're all evidence that it's attracting some people, but most people don't stay because they don't offer a game. Again, competitive is the way to go. If they don't go for competitive, they're just settling for whatever they're going to get, on the side. And the leap they're going to have to take is, if they make changes, they might lose people. They got to be willing to take that risk that we're going to lose some of these people right now that are probably enjoying this game, because we just have to face the facts that the game, we want to attract another demographic of people. So you're going to lose your old people, but you're going to get much more people.
Yeah, they need a more business mindset, like they got to take risks, and more like risk, they got to start paying people. I know it's risky.
I mean, it's not really even that much to, like, that's the thing that's funny, is there's not a lot to do. Like, the stuff we're talking about, Stefan is a coder by trade. Like, he could put the stuff together in a matter of, like, 2 weeks. Everything that we would need, he could code. We don't need to wait for graphics. We don't need to wait for levels. We don't have to wait for anything. It could be coded in a matter of probably 2 weeks. Same thing on Era. Era's got a couple of guys here. I mean, and by the way, Stefan on the Corleone side, like, he is the ultimate recipient. Any money that game makes, he actually gets paid for it. So it's in his best interest to attract more players. He just isn't willing to take that leap because he doesn't know enough about the game, and typically they don't. Like, the coder / owner / operator of the game generally doesn't know anything about the game, because they don't, they're not close enough to it to be operating. But what they do need to do is they need to trust somebody else, somebody that's been around, and they're not willing to do that. Like, they haven't yet found that person that they trust enough, that knows enough about the game, to blindly follow that person and say, yes, we'll do it. And Era's in the same position. Like, Era's just they're just trying to crank out updates that they think the players want. That's why they're coming out with, like, these plasma items and, whatever else they're coming out with. They're trying to satisfy players, because players say, what would be great? More events. And they're like, okay, when people want more events, they go and they make more events, and then they wonder, we gave them more events, things like Battle Royale, they gave them more events, and they're like, well, why aren't they coming? Because you're looking at the player base that's not really into competitive. Like Battle Royale, they watered down the competitiveness by making the bullets go so fast that it kind of kills the game. They've taken away a big competitive element to it. I mean, long story short, they're listening to the wrong people. They're putting their energy and resources in on the wrong projects.
So I'll ask you, my question for you is, what department or what part of the game will you change or add to make it competitive?
I mean, a couple of the ideas that we've entertained here. Multiplex is a very good place to start because we've already got a little bubble that it won't impact the game at large. So again, they're worried about impacting the game and scaring away players. You're not going to scare away anybody if you add a couple of things into multiplex. That's a very quick way to do that. Another element that they could do is let's say they add something to Spar Complex. Let's say they add like the ability to let's say they rip from Fortnite and say, hey, you can squad up with 3 people and go against another 3 people. You squad up with 3 people, you hit start, you get in the queue.
Uh-huh.
It does matchmaking, joining match. It match makes you against another team of 3. Now you're in a capture the flag match, 3-on-3 or 5-on-5 or whatever you want to do. And I mean, they can have it either controlled where it's like all the guns that everybody complains about, and they can keep it strictly fun towards gunplay and it's competitive. That wouldn't be too difficult to do. They already have the groundwork for team deathmatch, capture the flag.
I mean, laser tag is kind of laser tag is kind of the idea you're actually explaining right now, like laser tag,
Well, no, I mean, they have the groundwork for a lot of these things.
They kind of left it there.
They require an events team person to do it. These things should be automatic. Like you should be able to just pop on. Hell, it should be on GUI. You shouldn't even have to walk somewhere. You should be able to hit a GUI and it pops you. Join game, and then you got like a GUI where you got your people. I can select for my friends. I want to squad up with Eyesight and Eli, and boom, we hit join game. Now we're joining a game, and we get paired up with another random group of 3 people. Then we play a match. The problem is like right now the main gameplay, if you will, is basing. And basing takes it's a several hour commitment. Most people on a mobile device, they don't want to sit there for several hours and base. But if you have this, if we execute on this type of an idea where you have a quick match, first team to 20 kills wins. Okay, so we join a match, we get 20 kills, we win. We rack up a score. We could go join another game, or we could stop playing because mom just finished dinner. They're not really executing on the mobile market in the way that they could.
Yeah, actually, basing is kind of a big thing. Like no one's gonna sit over there like 8 hours, 7 hours, and trying to.
Basing takes a commitment, and most people in the mobile market don't want to do that commitment.
No, of course you don't want. I mean, it's sitting down over there. It's a great commitment to get. I mean, look at the gangs over here. It's built on different people, and it's kind of injustice. Like the whole server, like let's say they can only select like 15 people from that clan that actually is built out of like 400 players. To be honest, if you think about it, like from its beginning to the end, let's say like Green Reapers is built on so many people, and just a few little of them are rewarded with their rewards. So it's kind of unfair.
Well, I
And
mean, it just takes advantage. So again, that's another problem with the basing system, where it's like running a McDonald's. It's like owning and operating a McDonald's. All you need to do is you hire a couple of leaders and you work around the clock. You guys working. Typically, leaders will work in shifts, and they just need to make sure that there's enough members on and holding a base. So they kind of take turns managing it over different time zones. When they do that, they eventually will build a larger network, and eventually they get more people that can now not only take over one base, but now also take over maybe 2 or 3. They just keep building a network
like a franchise.
And in building that network, a lot of times what you're doing is you don't have consistent members. You have the core members, those leaders that are swapping people in and out. They're like, okay, Billy Bob isn't online, let's hire Jimmy John. And they just keep burning through people, and it's using people, and a lot of those people that they're using, they never get the rewards that they're working for. They're just playing the game to be part of a group.
Exactly.
So I
So
mean,
it's not really rewarding.
exploiting those people.
Yeah, it's what the heck? What are we teaching players with this game? How to how to manage a franchise? I don't know,
I
but
mean, it's pretty much like running. I always say it's just like running at McDonald's. You need a
yeah.
register. You need to make sure there's somebody at the register to collect cash. I mean, that's all they need
So
to do.
me as a helper, like someone that helps this clan burn their hours, do those hours, that shift. I kind of want to get rewarded, because I don't want to spend 7 hours, 8 hours in a base and not be rewarded. Because time is gold.
And it creates a culture where those people are told, look, if you don't want to help out, just leave. We don't need you. There's
Exactly.
another person
Like
right
there's
behind you.
another person right behind you. Yeah, exactly. So like it's not like in Fortnite.
I mean, that's the basing culture. I mean, I really think that, and here's the bigger problem with basing. I think is it's not so much even dependent on the person or how good the person is at playing the game. It's more dependent on what weapons they have. Like if they have a heal melee, they're instantly more valuable, regardless of
Yeah, yeah. I kind of get you.
regardless of how long they've played or anything. If they have a heal melee, they're extremely valuable. If they have for a while it was a bar. The bar isn't even like a problem anymore. Now it's they have like plasma guns and all kinds of other things that are even worse than the bar. So I mean the demand for these shiny new items is that's ultimately what drives it, and it really creates a culture of, again, the focus isn't anymore on how good can somebody be. It's not focused on the competitive nature of the game. It's focused on get a gun, join some random gang, and hope for the best. It's not really. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of replay value for people, and it's not very attractive to new players. So it's no surprise that we're losing a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh God. I'm sorry, but I got like 7 invites from the same gang to go to a war. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking. As you were talking, I was literally receiving like 7 invites to the same gang, which is my gang, is where I mainly have my family. But I can't right now. It's really sad, this base culture. To be honest, could have been 100 times better.